Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the changing of the Guard event was halted, marking the longest break since World War II. Today, the ceremony has got underway in a sign that Britain is returning to normality. Richard Palmer, Daily Express royal correspondent, tweeted, "In a fresh sign of Britain returning to normality after COVID-19, changing of the Guard has begun again today at Buckingham Palace after the longest break since the Second World War." The Coldstream Guards were given the honour of undertaking the first ceremonial guard change at the palace since March 2020. Earlier, No. 3 Company, 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards and the regimental band were on parade at Wellington Barracks, a welcome sight for tourists visiting London. Changing of the Guard at Buckingham Palace is the ceremony where the Queen's Guard hands over responsibility for protecting Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace to the new Guard. Footage shared across social media shows the Guards marching towards Buckingham Palace as onlookers look on. Many people took to Twitter to share their delight in the ceremonial event returning. One person wrote, "Ah, how wonderful. I can't wait to see that amazing moment with my own eyes." The Guards have protected kings, queens and the royal palaces since as early as 1656. The ceremony originally took place at the Palace of Whitehall. Whitehall Palace was the King's and Queen's official London home until 1689. When the royal household moved to St James's Palace, the ceremony moved as well, and when Queen Victoria moved into Buckingham Palace, the changing of the Guards moved there. The changing of the Guard ceremonial event takes place 4 times a week at Buckingham Palace. But following government advice during the pandemic, the ceremony was postponed until further notice. A statement from Buckingham Palace said back in March, "In line with government advice to avoid mass gatherings, it has been agreed that the ceremonial of the changing of the Guard at Buckingham Palace, St James's Palace and Windsor Castle will be postponed until further notice. Advice will be reviewed on an ongoing basis, with a view to restarting when appropriate." Like many people throughout the pandemic, the royal family were forced to adjust and cancelled overseas trips and a number of large-scale events. Back in March, Prince William said, "All of us have a part to play if we're going to protect the most vulnerable. That means acting on the latest expert advice, staying home if we or those we live with have symptoms, and avoiding non-essential contact to help reduce the spread of the virus." Queen Elizabeth II said her and her family are ready to play our part in the fight against COVID-19.